Hi everyone.
Hello, sir.
This is another one for factorials, but this time around we deal with variables, because if we say 5 factorial, you already know that 5 factorial is 120. How 5 factorial is equal to 120? 5 factorial is equal to 120 because 5 factorial can be expressed as 5 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 1. If we say 5 times 4, we get 20. 3 times 2, we get 6. Then we get here what? 1. So 20 times 6 is 120. Times 1 is 120. So 5 factorial is equal to 120. But in this video, we want to know how to express n factorial. We want to write an expression for n factorial. So what do we do? Now, the only way we can write n factorial is if we can write, for example, 7 factorial. If we are able to express 7 factorial, that tells you that we are able to write the expression for n factorial. Now, 7 factorial is equal to what? 7 multiplied by 6 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 1. Alright, so this is the expression for 7 factorial. But sometimes in mathematics, we can multiply without even using the multiplication sign. We can say 7 multiplied by 6 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 1. So this is 7 factorial. So this 7 factorial is the same thing we are writing, just that in that kind different format. So we say 7. So for us to obtain this 6, what do we have here? We have 7. Then we need this 6, so we can say 7 minus 1. We come to this bracket. We need 5. What do we get here? 7. 7 minus 2. So we have here 4 factorial. So we have 4 here. So we need 4 for this bracket. And this is 7. So we say 7 minus 3. Remember, 7 minus 1 gives 6. Minus 2, we have 5. Minus 3, we have 4. Now let us come to this one. We need here what? 3. So but this is what? 7. So we say 7 minus, this is 3. So we say 4. 7 minus 4 is 3. Now, how about this 2? We can say 7 minus 5. Remember, 7 minus 5 is 2. We need 1 here. But this is 7. We can say 7 minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5. So we say minus 6. 7 minus 6 can give us 1. But all what we are doing is not our question here. Our question is, how do we write an expression for n factorial? So from what we've seen here, we can deduce that if this 7 is replaced with n with a factorial, remember, it's because of we have 7 factorial, we see 7 here. So if this time around we have n factorial, we can write n. In the first bracket, it's because of 7 factorial, every bracket, the beginning is 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. So here the factorial is what? N. So everywhere we say n, then we say minus 1. So for this 7, what do we write? N. We say minus 2. For the 7, what do we write? N minus 3. N minus 4. N minus 5. N minus 6. Alright, so this is n factorial. Using the concept of what? The quantified values, we are able to write what? The factorial number for what? N. But there is a difference here. These ones are numerical values. When we say 7 books, we know exactly how many books. When we say 7 pens, we know exactly how many pens. When we say 7 people, we know exactly how many people. But if we say n people, we don't know how many number of people. It could be 10, it could be 1,000, it could be more. So because of that, we use the fact that if we are writing 3 factorial, this is 3 times 2 times 1. We also have the right to write 3 factorial as 3 times 2 factorial. For the fact that you don't see the 1, you don't get to 1, there must be a factorial. So this one gets to 1, the reason you don't see any factorial. It gets to 1, you don't see any factorial. This again, despite you don't see the 1, but we know that this one is 1. The reason we don't write the factorial. But n minus 6, basically, no one can tell you that quantity. N minus 6, no one can tell you how many people. N minus 6, no one can tell you how many cars. N minus 6 tables, no one can tell you how many tables. So because of that, it is a must for us to indicate a factorial. So even if you have x factorial, the most important thing, the very x itself is supposed to start x. And in every bracket, we start with what? X. So we say x minus 1, x minus 2, x minus 3. It depends the problem you are solving. That will determine the number of factors to write. But at this point, we can even tend to stop at this point. The most important thing, we indicate a factorial. So again, we can deduce that n factorial, here we are able to write it until n minus 6. But we can choose to say n multiplied by n minus 1, n minus 2, n minus 3. Then we say factorial. We can even choose to say n factorial is equal to n multiplied by n minus 1, n minus 2, factorial. N factorial, we can even choose to say n multiplied by n minus 1, factorial. The most important thing, there must be a factorial. So this is how we write an expression for n factorial. So thank you for watching. Make sure you share and like the video. Bye bye.